John Saldiva and needs
against significant corruption.
Mr. Saldiva should not run as a candidate and should withdraw from politics.
But now he's holding a special National Party Council meeting to give significant corruption yet another chance in the UDP. Is he for corruption or is he against it?
You're not serious about eradicating corruption, or you're not serious about ever winning the next election, and that is ultimately what matters here, you know. The party could, in a virtual NPC, select Mr. Saldiva to go back. The party could select a lot of these failed candidates who have the same perception nationally. The party could force those persons on the electorate all we want, you know. Ultimately, we're not going to win, so we have to decide what is it we want.
A message from the UDP Coalition for Unity and Reform.
Channel 7's Christmas brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams grand finale at our new location, Signature Restaurant and Pub. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
El virus del papiloma humana, VPH, es responsable del 90% de los casos de cáncer del cuello uterino. El 80% de la población puede infectarse con el VPH durante su vida. La detección del VPH puede prevenir el cáncer del cuello uterino. Mujeres de 25 a 65 años, háganse la prueba del VPH. La prueba de VPH ya está disponible en tu centro de salud más cercana. Un mensaje del Ministerio de Salud y Bienestar y la Organización Panamericana de la Salud, Organización Mundial de la Salud, con financiamiento y apoyo de Asociación de los Estados Unidos de América.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Yesterday, we told you that the Belize Peace Movement has won the redistricting case against GOB after a 3-year battle. As such, the Briceño administration has conceded to a consent order that the redistricting process will be carried out as soon as possible, with the BPM overseeing the developments. So the area reps and standard bearers are bracing themselves to either have their constituencies cut, increased, or eliminated completely. And in the case of Stan Creek West, it's definitely going to be cut. Numerically, with over 10,000 voters, it is the biggest constituency in the country, and it may also be the same geographically. And that's why Area Rep Rodwell Ferguson knows for sure that there is a cut coming, and he's preparing to say goodbye to half of his loyal voters. But according to Ferguson, no matter which half he keeps, he's sure he will win again.
Yeah, reduced by 50% or in 2. Right now, almost 11,000 voters, so I'm cutting at 2. I have developed a relationship with all my voters.
It's a
bittersweet moment. But I have to make a decision. I have to decide which side I want to choose. Because any side I take, I think I believe I can win. Because I work with my people.
And one man who may have an interest in that area is Chester Williams. The couple is a lawman and an attorney, but some pundits say that he may have a future in politics. And if he does, well, that new area in Stan Creek could take him back to his sane bite roots. Now, it's just fun speculation at this point, but politics, as they say, is the art of the possible. For the couple, he certainly wouldn't have to fight for name recognition since he's already a nationally known figure. And tonight he's reinforcing that with another of his memorable media appearances, For the past few days, we've been reporting on the fairly minor accident that the Commissioner of Police was involved in. A rental car driven by a tourist turned into his back tire on the George Price Highway. The Commissioner says he was not in the wrong and has not been served with a notice of intended prosecution, which is, from our experience, almost universally given to persons involved in traffic accidents, even if they are not eventually charged. But not for the Compol, because as he explained to us today in Belmopan, there's no chance he was even remotely in the wrong.
I was driving towards Blackman Eddy village. And there was a vehicle in front, Kia Soul. Behind the Kia Soul was, I think, a Prado. And behind the Prado was me. I was the third vehicle in line. We were traveling from an east to west direction. So I began to overtake. Traffic was clear. I passed the first vehicle. As I was passing the second vehicle, which is a Kia, I saw the driver made an immediate turn to the left, as if he was going to turn into Maya Hill, which is on the left. Now the law is, this is no what anybody's opinion, the law is, if you are driving and you are going to make a left turn, you must pull off the road and give way to oncoming traffic. On a highway. And you must also make sure you use your rear view mirror to look to the back to see if anything may be overtaking you before you make that turn. The driver did not do that. He just made the turn without looking in his rear view mirror and could not have seen me coming, and that was what caused the collision.
So that's what happens, the Commissioner's side of the story. But what about the yellow line? The picture taken near to the accident scene shows two solid yellow lines on the highway, which means it's a no overtaking zone. Now, we can't say the collision happened there, but even if it did, the Compol today told us don't take those lines as the law.
Now, I know much has been said about the yellow line. Where the vehicles were parked was not where the accident happened. We pulled off there. But let me educate some people and remove the cap of ignorance from off their heads. There is nothing in law about those lines on the road. Those lines are just guide for drivers. The rules or the law relating to overtaking is one. You must not overtake along a curve. You must not overtake on the blow of a hill. You must not overtake when traffic is coming the opposite direction or where you cannot see. So long as you have a clear view ahead that nothing is coming, you can overtake. Again, when it comes to the lines on the middle of the road, those were just used as guide, like to tell drivers, you know, you might reach an area where you might not want to overtake because there may be some danger. You cannot see what is coming around the curve. There is nothing in law to say that you cannot overtake.
I hear you, but you realize how totally preposterous this is, because this is an accepted convention and rule of driving that you are now saying must be suspended because you violated it. So your argument is that, well, I do it, so yeah, right. I mean, it's really just a suggestion. No, sir. These are the rules of the road.
You see, the whole issue of Julesologists or Julesologism, you try to create your own narrative. That's what a Julesologist is, a person who tries to create their own narrative for their own aggrandizement. Right? Obviously, you missed what I said just now. I said where the vehicles were parked was not where the accident happened. I did not say to you that when I overtook the vehicle, there were double lines. I just went on to explain to you what the double line means. So don't come to me with what you want. with your narrative to make it seem as if I have committed a breach of the law, because I have not. And even if it were so that I had overtaken the person on those double lines, there is nothing in law to say that I break the law. Nothing. But certainly there is the law that the other driver break the law because he made a left turn without giving due consideration for oncoming traffic.
So then I must ask, you went through a long explanation, so I took it to mean, I assumed that, well, if you're going through this long explanation about the two-line business, that means that you were in violation of it, sir. Where you overtook, were there two lines in the road?
You can go on the scene and make it. If I tell you right now, you don't believe me. So I challenge you to go yourself.
Sir, no, you were not served with a notice of intended prosecution. We know that every individual...
Why would I say, Jules Vasquez, stop your foolishness now, man. Why would I be served with a notice of intended prosecution? When it is clear, even blind-eye GMC could see that the other driver was at fault. The driver have accepted that he was at fault. Why you want to make it seem as if the law must change because the other person is the Commissioner of Police? Section 6 of the Constitution speaks to equality before the law. It did not say that everyone are equal before the law except the Commissioner, who shall be deemed guilty even when he's innocent. It does not say that. Yeah, Jules? And I'm done with that line of questioning. Anything else?
And while the commissioner and the guy who crashed into him were lucky to escape without injury, not so for a police officer who was in a serious accident last night. It was sometime yesterday evening when the officer, Darian Skeen, collided into a delivery truck that was attempting to cross the street. Upon impact, the motorcycle burst into flames and the officer sustained a broken arm and a broken leg. Today, the police press officer, ASP Fitzroy Yearwood, told us more.
I received information that Darian Skeen, a police constable, attached to here at Eastern Division, was traveling on his motorbike when he and a truck driven at the time by a M&M engineer and driver. I think it's Ian Armstrong, if I'm certain. But I know that he collided into that vehicle and received severe body injuries, and he was transported to the KHMH, where several tests has been done on him, and we know that he needs further medical attention. He's listed in a critical but stable condition.
Has the police been able to establish who was at fault at this time?
Well, like I said, the investigators are doing their investigation, and as soon as they can rule out who's not at fault, we'll know who will be at fault for that accident.
We did see that I believe the motorcycle combusted, right?
Yeah, upon impact it did explode. So you know that we have the fire department doing their part. It's a multi-agency investigation right now. But certainly we will not leave any rocks unturned to find out who is responsible for this accident. And I can confirm that our officer was seriously injured in it.
And in other unfortunate police news, a cop could face dismissal after being charged for the theft of an exhibit firearm, specifically a .38 revolver. PC Walford Smart is accused of taking a weapon that was being held as an exhibit in cases of possession of an illegal firearm. Now, while the gun should have been safely kept in the exhibit area, instead on Saturday, cops found it in an abandoned lot on Unity Street. Today, the commissioner says that they traced the chain of custody and it led back to PC Smart.
From what I was briefed by the Director of National Prosecution is that there was a case of an unlicensed firearm, and PC Smart, who was a court orderly, went and signed for the firearm at the exhibit room. After the case was over, he did not resign the firearm back into the exhibit room. The firearm was recovered by police in a bushy lot in the Unity Street area, and based on that, investigation was conducted and he was charged for theft.
Is there an indication if he knowingly or unlawfully transacted the weapon, or was it just misplaced?
Well, we cannot say, but he had an obligation to have returned the firearm to the exhibit keeper after the case. That was not done, and he had at no time reported the firearm to have been stolen or missing.
Will you work for him to be removed from the department for such a serious lapse?
Well, he will be placed on interdiction today. He will be placed on disciplinary charge, and once found guilty, the consequence is certainly dismissal.
We take a break now. When we come back, we'll show you what the future of policing looks like in a new high-tech unit at the police headquarters. And later on, another author and attorney, Godfrey Smith, in his new book, he calls Michael Ashcroft the billionaire who befriended me. Jules challenges him on that. Don't go away.
The deals continue this massive season. Starting December 12th until December 24th, it's 12 straight days of massive deals with up to 25% off on selected items each day. From grills to appliances and more. Every day, you get a new opportunity to take advantage of new items on sale. Check out our website and social media platforms for updates each day. Deals, P-Bucks, rewards, everything is massive this season at Belize.
I remember how energetic you were when we were setting up your nursery. Do you remember this one?
That's when we went on vacation. I loved the pool. I made a big splash.
This is a memorable one for me. That was the year you were very thoughtful.
I remember that year. I had to save all my money to buy everyone a gift.
These past years have brought so much joy to our family.
You too can feel the Christmas joy with an Atlantic Bank Easy Credit Loan. Borrow for that special gift, improve your home, or for your holiday travels. Apply today and take advantage of great interest rates, easy and fast approval, discounted bank fees, and convenient repayment terms. Our approved loans from October 3rd to December 16th, 2022 will be entered into our Christmas raffle. For more details, visit atlabank.com. Atlantic Bank, spreading Christmas joy this holiday season.
Channel 7's Christmas Bram is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Bram's grand finale at our new location, Signature Restaurant and Pub. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far, that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabrics. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store is only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Season's greetings from all of us at Atlantic Insurance, wishing you the gift of faith, the blessing of hope, and the wonder of this holiday season at Christmas and in the new year. This holiday season, whether you're in the driver's seat or walking down the street, always respect the rules of the road. Do not speed, do not drink and drive, Drive safely and enjoy this holiday season with your loved ones. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family from all of us at Atlantic Insurance.
Hola. Disculpa por no llegar anoche. Lo siento. He estado hace tiempo con ganas de decirte algo. Últimamente estoy lidiando con mis problemas de salud mental.
I think if there was no stigma around mental health, I'd be more open about what I'm going through on the inside. And I don't know, maybe I'd find that other people in my life are actually going through the same thing.
Há alguns anos, comecei a contar para outras pessoas sobre minha ansiedade. Isso me ajudou a descobrir ótimas formas de como lidar com ela.
Soy muy sociable. Creo que si hablara sobre mis problemas de la salud mental, simplemente no lo creerían. Por eso no hablo de ello.
Me preocupa que si la gente se enterara de mi salud mental, pensarán que soy débil. Por eso me aislé. Pero creo que voy a cambiar esto.
Channel 7's Christmas Bram is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Bram's grand finale at our new location, Signature Restaurant and Pub. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
In the spirit of this festive season, we here at Champion Security would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year filled with love, laughter, family, and friends. It was our pleasure serving you.
We encourage you to secure your home and business during this time by letting us give you back that peace of mind. Life is to be treasured, and we here at Champion Security take pride in saying that your safety is our business. Happy holidays.
So what will you do?
Come on over to Champion Security.
Merry Christmas!
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We always hear about police beefing up their presence on the ground, but today we saw what might be the future of law enforcement. Not more boots on the ground, something more like more computers in the cloud. We visited the newly opened National Comstat office in Belmopan.
It may look like a command center straight out of a television show, but this is the National Comstat office at a new building in the National Police Headquarters in Belmopan, where they cut the ribbon today. It's the premier project in a major donation from the U.S. Embassy. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams was the driving force behind it, as he explained to the U.S. Ambassador Michelle Kwan today.
It will be able to provide live data to the commanders on the ground, giving them guidance in terms of how they can adequately deploy the human and other resources to be able to stem whatever crime problem that may be occurring within a respective area. This building is going to house one representative from each region. So we have one from the southern region, one from the western region, one from the northern region. And when it comes to Belize City, we have 4 divisions in Belize City. So we'll have one from each division as well. So when something is occurring within a particular region or division, the comstat officer here can then notify the commander on the ground. We're seeing this pattern, we're seeing this trend. Burglaries are happening in this area, robberies are happening here. And with that, then the commander will be able to say, you know what, this is our problem area, so let us concentrate our resources here.
These areas are crucial to the ultimate success of Belize's goal to reduce crime and increase the confidence of the citizens of Belize in the police department.
And while it is a dazzling array of screens and data, the public might not be so confident that police have the technical and computer wherewithal to effectively harness all this machinery.
We have recruited a number of well-qualified persons, and separate and apart from that, a number of our officers who may have came in with a lower level of education have gone back to school and now have a higher level of education. And so the police department is pretty much well educated. And so these equipment that we're seeing here is nothing new to some of these officers. For the vacant posts, when we know the building was going to be inaugurated, we advertise the posts within our ranks and for qualified persons to apply. So everybody who is going to be working here have some degree in computer.
Of course, there are always misgivings that these banks of computers and the vast number of screens may not be optimized for law enforcement purposes, which is to say, Netflix, anyone?
The PSB is going to be the watchdog in terms of making sure that where there's a breach, that appropriate action is taken. The commander of compliance is the one then with the responsibility to ensure that every equipment that we receive is being used for its proper purpose, and there's no deviation from that. Where the commander of compliance finds that there is a deviation or a breach that cannot be justified, then that goes to PSB and they take appropriate action. Apart from compliance, we also have an inspection unit. The inspection unit also will do their part in terms of making sure that every month they go out and inspect these equipments, that there is no damage caused to these equipment, that they are accounted for, and then a report is then generated, comes to the Commissioner of Police. I look at it, and if there is any breach, then direction is given in terms of how the breach is to be dealt with.
For Police Minister Karim Musa, it is a flagship project emphasizing his administration's move away from strictly suppression techniques, aka it's not always about more boots on the ground.
The pillars of innovation and technology, you are realizing that today, community policing, smart policing, taking it and transitioning that brute force policy that was there before and transitioning it to more community-based approaches to fighting crime.
The ComStat office is a big ticket item as part of a wider donation of equipment and resources to create a culture that fosters more thoughtful policing.
What you see before you is a cumulative $883,228 United States dollars worth of equipment and tools donated by one of our key stakeholders and partners in citizen security, the United States of America, at our Research, Planning, Legal Affairs and Compliance branch, RPLAC. We are receiving a total of 2 prefab buildings, complete with office furniture, computers, desktops and laptops with software, along with 1 vehicle. Secondly, at our Professional Standards branch, PSB, which is the unit responsible for the internal discipline of police officers, they will be receiving a donation of 1 prefab office building, along with computers and office furniture, 3 vehicles for immediate deployment to PSB offices out district in the northern, southern, and western regions. Thirdly, our in-service training unit, which is the department's newest unit for training, planning, and support, they will be receiving a donation of 1 prefab building, 96 rolls of crime scene tapes for CIB and First Responders Training Project, training uniforms and duty belts for its Defensive Tactics Training Program, 6 multimedia equipment, CBSI Connect online training platform, and an assortment of desktop and laptops and equipment.
The officers who will be using these new resources may present the future of the policing mindset.
Our block has it's one branch with 3 sub-units or offices. There's research and planning, who is responsible for compiling all the policies and procedures that would dictate how the department runs. There's legal affairs, who, as the name explains, basically takes care of all the legal aspects of the department. And there's the compliance branch, who's responsible for ensuring that all of these policies and procedures are disseminated across the entire department and that every member of the department is in compliance with these policies and procedures.
My booth specifically is dealing with defense tactics. We deal with training of police officers and the recruits so that they can know how to go about dealing with the public, and for us as police officers to safeguard ourselves to better have our job in dealing with situations, to how to de-escalate situations, to reduce lawsuit report against us as police officers.
The donation includes a total of 4 pickup trucks, 1 van, 4 prefabricated office buildings, and office equipment. The donation is shared between the ComStat program, the Professional Standards branch, the Research, Planning, Legal and Compliance branch, and the Police Training Academy. And keeping it in Cayo, on Tuesday, police discovered human remains on a farm located at mile 41 on the Hummingbird Highway. When the officers arrived on the scene, they found a shallow grave at the end of an orange orchard that contained human bones. Police press officer ASP Irwood told us that the police have not identified who the bones belonged to or whether there was foul play as yet.
Late yesterday evening, I got a call from OC Belmopan, where he explained to me they were led to what they believe was human remains, particularly of a male. And yes, the person that led them to these remains explained that this person may have been reported missing some time ago. So we are going through our records and archives to see if we can find the identity of the remains that we have in custody. But as soon as we find that out, I will relay that to you, okay?
Sir, we're understanding that the remains were found in a shallow grave. Almost always when you hear shallow grave, you're thinking foul play.
Like I said, when we are doing our examinations, I'm certain that the doctors will do a post-mortem on the remains. And hopefully we can confirm whether or not foul play was done to that person or if it's natural.
And in other news, you've heard the Minister of Transport say that the bus operators had until the end of this month to start upgrading their buses. Well, today he told us that they're on board and that upgrade has started. Ferguson added that by early next year, commuters will be riding in comfort.
To go almost by Old Belize right now, a lot of operators are there right now negotiating with a bus owner who has about 15 buses parked there for the last year. And the operators recognize that they must upgrade. As a matter of fact, our transportation study was recently completed last week, and the consultants are telling them that they must upgrade. So they are prepared and they are fully on board. We say we want to see a gradual approach. So expect January 1st, you are seeing on different buses on the highway.
Have they started? Have you seen any physical change with the buses?
Yeah,
so far?
I see Tillich from Orange bringing at least 2 or 3 already. Then Servo Truck will bring another 3 or so by January 1st. And then the others are now negotiating with this operator right here in Belize. Initially, we are hoping that in the end we can come and say the government is going to subsidize or contribute. I just came back from Korea about 2 weeks ago. We're a big country, 55 million people, so they subsidize their bus industry. These are a very small country, can't afford to do so. We subsidize a lot in education, but you can't subsidize in bus right now until we can grow the economy. I want to give the Prime Minister kudos. It does save $1 billion, and as we go along, you will see transformation and different activities happening in our country. But just Remember, in May of last year, we got a subsidy of almost $1 million. I was able to go back to cabinet 2 weeks ago and negotiate for another $200,000 to take them to December. So we are doing our best to work with them, and they are very happy.
And if the buses are to be kept in working condition, that means no racing on the road and definitely no drag races like the one held on December 4th. According to the Minister of Transport, that race, which caused the blockage of the Hummingbird Highway between miles 24 and 25, was sanctioned by his ministry, and he has no apologies for that.
I'm the Minister of Transport. It was organized by the youngest chairperson in the country, I believe, a lady 21 years old, Brittany Roches. And she came to me and said she wanted to do a drag show. It's not the first time. But because I was there, then I get publicity. It has been done at least 3 times for the year, maybe across the country. I like it in Stan Creek. But I support it 100%. I will not deviate from that.
But finding like a secondary road as opposed to the highway and interrupting traffic.
We did not interrupt traffic, maybe for 5 minutes. The race lasts less than 2 minutes. So by the time the race is done, we open for traffic. Okay. So we had a very good turnout from all over the country.
And while that race went off without any accidents, road traffic accidents are still a major problem on Belize's highways, with many losing their lives. But come next year, the minister says he has big plans for a driving school in Belize. Here's what he told us.
In terms of the increase related to motorcycle accidents, is the ministry planning on maybe educating the public about the safeties and dangers here?
Well, first of all, we are going to create a driving school. So I just sanctioned my CTO that I want to see it become effective maybe by March, that when you want a license, you must go to a driving school in this country. If you want to go to another level, you must go to school.
No word yet on whether Compo Chester will be teaching the class on what to do when you see those bold double yellow lines on the highway. Last Monday, we told you about the letter that Prime Minister John Briceño wrote to the president of Oceana's Board of Directors in Washington, D.C. He was attempting to convince Senator Janelle Chinona's bosses that his administration wasn't trying to open the door on offshore oil drilling with these very early talks about seismic testing. He made the point to Oceana's Board of Directors that the Belize chapter of Oceana is engaging in a signature collection drive for a referendum petition, a petition which he insisted was not needed. Yesterday, we got a chance to speak via Zoom with Vice President Chinona about that letter and the reaction from the Board of Directors in Washington. Here's what she had to say.
I did meet with the Oceana board in person actually last week. So I had the opportunity to discuss the letter, and I will say that the board is heartened by what I have conveyed to be confirmation and as the Prime Minister eloquently put it, reaffirmation of the offshore oil moratorium and a written assurance of a referendum. As policy advocates, I fully take on board the promise of a referendum, and what we have conveyed is if that promise can be translated into legislation, existing legislation, so that legislation that creates a moratorium can be amended to include a referendum, then yes, I fully subscribe that the signature drive that we're on right now is unnecessary or would be unnecessary, because then we would have what the people clearly want, which is a referendum on this issue. So I haven't received a response yet to my December 7th letter, but I continue to be optimistic because there's very many other issues that we need to take on board, that if we can reach an agreement to move to enact amendment to create a referendum as a part of the legislation, so that any future administration who wants to have this issue back on the table would have to do so in the context of a referendum, then I would be fully prepared to stop what we're doing and consider that issue to be respectful of the fact that every time this issue has come up, Belizeans have come forward in great numbers, and to have a referendum on that issue and public input on that issue.
So until then, though, the signature collection drive continues.
I think it must. As I said, even if we reach our threshold before there's a response, we don't have to submit it. But if the government conveys that there's no interest in doing that, then we would have to move as promised to triggering a referendum. But as I said, given the tone and the severity of the language in terms of the clarity of the language, and given the fact that there's bipartisan support, the opposition has said it is in full support of a referendum on this issue. I think it would be very rational, very reasonable to say, well, in the context of what we have before us, it's a win-win-win scenario of amending the legislation to include a referendum so that anybody in the future is bound by that. At the end of the day, Danielle, I work for Oceania, but I don't want a promise to be made to Oceania. I want a promise to be made to the people of Belize. And a promise that the people of Belize can hold on to is having something in the law that says no matter what's happening, no matter who's around, no matter what's at stake, you will have a referendum on this issue. And that's really, as a Belizean, what I want to see happen.
At this time, Oceania Belize continues to collect those signatures. After the break, in his new book, author Godfrey Smith calls Michael Ashcroft a billionaire buddy. But how does he reconcile that with the claim that he's a progressive? We'll ask him. And almost 50 student athletes living abroad will be receiving financial assistance to pursue their sports dream. We'll have the details. Don't go away.
I remember how energetic you were when we were setting up your nursery. Do you remember this one?
That's when we went on vacation. I loved the pool. I made a big splash.
This is a memorable one for me. That was the year you were very thoughtful.
I remember that year. I had to save all my money to buy everyone a gift.
These past years have brought so much joy to our family.
You too can feel the Christmas joy with an Atlantic Bank Easy Credit Loan. Borrow for that special gift, improve your home, or for your holiday travels. Apply today and take advantage of great interest rates, easy and fast approval, discounted bank fees, and convenient repayment terms. All approved loans from October 3rd to December 16th, 2022 will be entered into our Christmas raffle. For more details, visit atlabank.com. Atlantic Bank, spreading Christmas joy this holiday season.
Channel 7's Christmas Brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Bram Grand Finale at our new location, Signature Restaurant and Pub. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
Come and see. I need to show you something. A product that is destroying our planet. To make space for it, millions of trees are cut down. To grow it, chemicals poison the land, the soil, the water. To produce it, the air becomes saturated with toxins. And when it's discarded, our environment is polluted in ways that we can't afford. Tobacco costs us more than 8 million lives every year. It also costs us 600 million trees, 200,000 hectares of land, 84 million tons of CO2, 22 billion tons of water. Tobacco is not only poisoning people, it's poisoning our planet.
Channel 7's Christmas Bram is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Bram Grand Finale at our new location, Signature Restaurant and Pub. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
After an MOU signing this morning, student athletes living abroad will now have greater financial support. It's an agreement between the Ministry of Education, the Football Federation of Belize, and the Belize Basketball Federation. For the FFB, 10 of these young athletes will be receiving a monthly stipend of $600, and 39 of those from the BBF will receive a tuition scholarship up to the bachelor's level. Today, the Ministers of Education and Sports told us how this collaboration came about.
Initially, the guys came to me and said, how can we make contact with the Minister of Education for them to contribute towards the young people's scholarship that are abroad? And I told him that's not an issue. I will call Mr. Fonseca and explain to him what he wants to accomplish. And right away he responded and said, Mr. Ferguson, let's arrange for us to meet with them and come to a conclusion. So today is the conclusion. The agreement has been signed for a amount of young people that are doing their bachelor's degree, their associate's degree across out of the country. We are hopeful that we might be lucky to see one of them join the NBA or one of the major sports in the US. As a small country, it's a pity we can't provide for them in that category because we have a very small population. But as we go, we believe that we can do it. So we hope that our athletes start to achieve what they want to accomplish in this life. And the Ministry of Sport, the Ministry of Education, and the government will be there for them. It's the beginning. And every year, I think it will expand, it will increase. And I see more children, more young people getting their assistance to go and study the subject of their choice.
It's been done in a very haphazard fashion for many years. The individual families have generally approached the ministry and saying, listen, we have this opportunity. So we wanted to put in place a structured, coordinated process that would allow these formal organizations, these bodies, to identify these student athletes, bring them to us and say, listen, they have gotten partial scholarships at this university or this community college, but they need additional support on a monthly basis to assist them with living expenses, accommodation, that sort of thing. And so that's where we stepped in. So I'm very, very pleased that we were able to formalize these MOUs. I think it's a small step, but it's an important historic step. And I think it's a foundation that we can build upon. We started, as I think they reported, we started with a commitment of $600 monthly to these student athletes to assist them with living expenses. That came from the FFB. They suggested that amount to start with. We hope, obviously, to build on that. And then with the Basketball Association, we're starting with 30 student athletes, providing them with full tuition scholarships from high school, sixth form, university. So we want to see them go through the full stages of their education up to university. So we started with 30, and we hope to expand that each year as more and more young people learn about the program.
The MOUs were signed by President of the FFB, Sergio Chuck, and President of the BBF, Jacob Leslie. And the Ministry of Education has also been providing relief to those schools that were damaged during Hurricane Lisa. According to the minister, over 70 schools sustained some sort of damage, including the Belize Rural School, which had its entire roof torn off. Minister Francis explained that others received medium-level damage.
The damage, the report we received, the final report we received, suggested that there were 77 schools that received varying levels of damage. Obviously, some received more significant damage. I think the most significant damage was to the Belize Rural Primary School. That their entire roof was destroyed. So that was significant damage, and we had a few other schools at that level. But for the most part, it was medium to low level damage that occurred meaning that, you know, windows were broken, doors were damaged, flooding, that sort of thing. So the estimate is overall is about $3 million worth of damage. We've put that that assessment has been given over to the Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but we have not waited, obviously, for those monies to come in. We have been working with various partners, so we've gotten support from different entities in Belize. We've gotten some donations. Plus, we have in our own budget, we have a few $100,000 that we have allocated to addressing some of the more urgent needs. So, fortunately, school is closing this week, and so we'll have an opportunity over the Christmas holiday to do some of the repairs that are necessary before school reopens in January. So it's ongoing work, but you know, no school has been interrupted. All schools have been able to go back into class sessions. But there are issues that we have to deal with over the next few weeks to get those schools back up and ready for January.
Last week, you heard Minister Francis Fonseca take the media's side on the company's registry dilemma. But after speaking with Minister of State Chris Koye and the PM, the stance of the government seems to be that while those companies that enter into government contracts should have their shareholders disclosed, other companies should be able to retain their privacy. We asked Fonseca if he still holds true to his original comments or if he agrees with the powers in the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, I think, you know, I certainly, in principle, support the public disclosure of directors and shareholders of local companies. But, you know, as you all may appreciate, even before these latest changes, this merger, the reality is that in Belize, a local company, a resident of Belize could form an IBC, get a registered agent, and that way, even for that local company, the public would not have access to that information. So they would use a registered agent instead of disclosing who are their directors and shareholders. So that was the case even before the merger. I think we have to be very clear about that. But I think based on the discussions we've had, I think the Prime Minister has reported this. We've had discussions, and we talked about it in Cabinet yesterday as well. We do believe that there needs to be both a policy change and an amendment to the law to ensure that in terms of public contracts and public officials as well, public contracts, public officials, that there is full disclosure. I think that is the primary concern, that whenever we're dealing with public funds being spent, the people must have access and information about who those companies are owned by, who are the beneficial owners of those companies. And as well, public officials. If any public official is involved in any company, I think that as well should be public information.
He may be Belize's only billionaire, but there are not many who would call Michael Ashcroft friend. But in his new book of essays, Godfrey Smith does. In our exclusive sit-down with him, we asked why.
You travel the world with Mr. Ashcroft. A lot of people will see this and say, man, what type of progressive are you? You are in the hands, you are in the clutches of the neo-colonialists.
Yeah.
How do you respond to this?
What kind of progressive am I? I suppose the answer to that has to be that it wasn't the relationship as is set out in the book happened almost organically. It wasn't that I sought him out or he sought me out. Life, as it were, threw us together. Obviously, on my part, there is an interest in understanding how somebody like that works and operates and thinks. And as is set out in the book, we had a mutual use for each other at the beginning of the friendship. But beyond that, I think I can honestly say, and I have no hesitation in saying, that there are many things I admire about him, which comes out in the book. I've always found him to be brutally honest with me, forthright. No, I didn't answer the part about what kind of progressive I am. Maybe I'm only a progressive in my mind. I certainly, am I even entitled to call myself a progressive?
You're doing the book.
Certainly in my mind.
Any relationship with Mr. Ashcroft, by many, is seen as an affront to patriotism. You write, as to his legacy in Belize, opinion will be bitterly divided on whether his involvement, some might say entanglement, has been more beneficial than harmful. In the long term, it is difficult to see how it could be anything but beneficial. How do you justify that?
Well, I think of things that can't be pulled up and taken away. So I think of one of the most recent things like the Alea resort. That is a serious piece of investment and infrastructure for Belize that drives tourists and tourism to San Pedro and Belize. He has a network of banks that provide a service to Belize. These are infrastructural things that you can't tear up and throw away. Did he get immense, great tax holidays for doing it? Yes, but who gave it to him? You see, the nasty, messy, sordid, disastrous fights came about because of the messiness of the interaction of politicians and Mr. Ashcroft.
Smith's book, Diary of a Recovering Politician, will be launched in Belmopan next week, Monday, and Belize City on Tuesday night. And in other news today, the Police Community Policing Unit joined forces with the British High Commissioner and the Taiwanese Embassy to bring Christmas cheer to children from impoverished homes. The event took place at the Yabra Greenfield this afternoon, and even the kids from surrounding villages like Hattieville and Mahogany Heights got in on the action. The commander of the National Community Policing, ACP Howell Gillett, told us more.
We're thrilled. We are so happy to see so many kids intermingling with the police officers. It's over 100 kids we've invited to come, and we've selectively chosen them. We know that COVID has hit us hard. We also know that Hurricane Lisa was hard on us. So we went into those areas and we hand-selected the kids who are here today. It's a pity that we couldn't reach to all the kids that were affected, but we believe Christmas is not only for a few people, it's for everyone. And many times when we have these disasters, we look a lot at rebuilding the homes or the houses, but oftentimes we forget the kids and the devastation that it caused as a consequence of a major disaster like Hurricane Lisa. So we are so pleased to have partnered with the British High Commission and the Taiwanese Embassy to get these gifts.
It's really important. It's Christmas, and I think the children who've come today have been through a lot. The families have been through a lot, and it is so important to be able to give back and spread a little cheer, really. And that's brilliant. The police are doing a fantastic job. They've got a tough job all through the year, and I think it's so important that they, we're able to support them and help those children and make Christmas special for them. We've had the hurricane, so yeah, it's really important they don't miss out, and very happy to support.
As we know, the Christmas is the season of peace, love, and appreciation. It's also the time of giving and gratitude. So Taiwan is the faithful and the trustworthy ally of Belize, and the children are the hope of our future. So we are very glad to participate in this very meaningful event. And we also hope that our small sponsorship and a small donation could make a big difference for the children of Belize City, especially in the wake of Hurricane Lisa.
And keeping with the spirit of Christmas, a lot of families will spend this season still without roofs and homes after the damage Hurricane Lisa caused. But the Feinstein Group has stepped in with a donation of $50,000 to the Belize City Council to assist with their cleanup efforts. The brief handing over took place at City Hall this morning, and here's a look at how that went.
They've been working effortlessly to get the city back in order, cleaning up, helping with the families that need relief. And they've been doing it with the resources that they have. And so we're hoping now that this donation can go a long way because there's still families out there in need. And so, we encourage other businesses to come in and assist.
Cleanup has really tapered off as we close out again at around 64,000 tons of debris out of the city. So that has been clear. But now we still have gaps that need to be filled. I know NEMO has been doing its part, but there still remains that level of a lot of paperwork, and people need relief quickly as possible. And that is where the city really comes in being able to be the local entity that is able to drive this type of effort and initiative where those people that are in need are able to get quick relief. At the end of the day, we don't really want to leave anyone behind, especially as we near the Christmas season and the holiday season. People are still living without adequate roofing. Some still have the tarp on top of their roof, and those are the areas we are focused on providing the leaf, zinc here and there, the plywood, the lumber here and there. This check here would go a long way in us able to realizing that objective. Our damage assessment needs committee did do its assessment along a line with NEMO, and the big picture, the overarching picture, based on those figures, that the last figures we received was in the neighborhood of 32 million, right? And that encompasses the 4 levels of destruction caused by Hurricane Lisa. We know we are nowhere near being able to provide that type of relief. Our government is working hand in hand with the city and with NEMO to ensure that those heavy areas are covered on a long-term basis. But in the short term, we have to be that engine. We're really there to provide that for the residents.
And 5 other organizations across the city were also given a little Christmas joy. Bowen's annual Jingle Box targets those organizations that assist needy persons and provides them with a food basket with all the trimmings to make a warm Christmas dinner. Today we heard more about the tradition from Bowen's media specialist, and we also heard from some of the organizations that received the donations.
This is a member or staff initiative, 13 years in the making. Our staff members, or members actually, recognizes the fact that in this country, we do have people who are really in need. This is a very important time of the year. It's a time of the year where people foresee family. People have got great memories, great remembrance. And our members of B&B decided, hey, why not try to help other families, provide them with a warm Christmas meal? And the initiative went like wildfire, so much so that the monies raised by staff is actually matched by the company. And so therefore we are able to purchase the necessary ingredients for a warm Christmas meal. Well, you know, Christmas is not Christmas without your rice and beans, your chicken, your salad, your cranberry. You know, these things are very important. And of course, in the boxes, we've got additional stuff like juices and various items. Look, we even have coconut milk in there, because what's rice and beans without coconut milk, no?
The Belize Red Cross has been going out into the affected communities to do assessments and trying to find those families that were most affected and most vulnerable. And so we have been doing a lot of work in the communities, giving out food packages, cleaning kits, and, you know, the need is great, and we don't have enough supply, so this will go a long way with what we're doing and our efforts.
It's important to note that quite a number of our older persons are those out of the workforce. They are not receiving pension. They are not receiving a social security. So their demands for nutrition is great. And I'm saying to you, the older persons that will have the opportunity to access these food items will certainly be appreciative of it. I know for a fact it will bring that level of joy. It will bring that level of satisfaction, appreciation, that they are remembered during this time.
We recognize the fact that apart from providing surgical intervention and helping in the healthcare arena, families do have needs. And a lot of our families are less fortunate, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to help on all levels. You know, we provide the healthcare, you guys are providing this treat for them, and without this donation, we have some of the families that wouldn't be able to afford anything for Christmas. So we have them looking forward to it.
And that's our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching. With you on news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see streaming video on our Facebook page. Stay tuned and stay with us as Channel 7 brings you at 8 p.m. the night 4 of our Christmas Bram, hosted by Miriam Abdul-Kawi and Brandon Usher. Tonight, we have the Woman Chime Band in the house. Have a great night. Stay safe. Join Cherise tomorrow at 6 as she sits in for me as I do the wrap-up and the final show for our Christmas Bram week. Have a good one.